Hello and welcome to the Tales from the Shores podcast. It's me, Tel, and I have with me Kels the Mod. Very important. Hello. How are you going, Kels?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. And I guess I have Samuel here too.
Hello.
How are you feeling, Samuel?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to it. It's a week of nothing but positivity, and I love it.
Oh yeah, nothing but positivity.
Nothing but positivity.
Yeah,
I love it. I love reading all of the kind comments that I have.
So, welcome to the Tales from the Shores podcast. Thank you all for coming to watch. We have a pretty fun. We're gonna have a pretty fun stream today. We've got Fen Samuel here. We're gonna have a chat about the elephant in the room, which will be the updates and stuff like that. The game itself, Bright Shores, and how things are going at Fen. Kels is going to act as our beacon of positivity, since she still loves the game and has no complaints. Is that right?
Yeah, totally. No complaints at all.
Oh my god.
Nope.
Okay. But yeah, it'll be good. So, Samuel, do you consider me a friend?
I consider you a respected member of the community.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see if that holds up by the end of today, I think.
Yeah.
But first of all, before we get into that, what are you guys up to in the game?
I am shockingly in the tannery right now. I've been working on getting leatherworking to 50. It's my last skill that needs base 50.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, I'll be working on base 100s.
Oh yeah, nice. I'm doing burner passive because I have the stream to run, and I've given up on playing while I do the stream. So, what about you, Sammy? You're working on Lost and Found, aren't you?
I am working on Lost and Found. It is the last quest that I have to do, and then I have to start preparing for next week's. It might be the week after. It could be the week after that. The next quest.
Maybe.
To come out, I'm working on
whenever
that.
It comes out. Yeah.
So yeah, slowly getting there, but it's getting a bit better. It's not that bad. The mines aren't that bad now that I've unlocked the passives. Getting to 20 was actually a struggle. But
yeah. I'm pretty bad because I've KP'd all the way to 200 and like something burn right.
Yeah, no, I can feel that. Yeah, I can feel that. Why you would do that.
Yeah. So we'll see how my gathering training goes, whether I just drop the bones or whatever.
So something I've been doing to kind of mix things up a bit is I have a wheel that I'll show on stream, and if people like use their channel points, they can redeem a spin of the wheel, and whatever skill the wheel lands on, I have to level it at least once, and I can't KP it in that time frame.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, last night it was very punishing. I got stonemason, bone right, fishing, and gathering, one right after the other.
Nice. No, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
I'm not gonna do that.
Not gonna do that.
I'm not gonna add that wheel to my stream.
Yeah, because you'll get. What's your most hated skill? It's got to be the crafting ones, right?
No, my most hated skill is all of them in Chronopolis. Merchant, probably.
All of them in Merchant. Are you one of those sinful people who merged or KP merge?
Yeah, no, yeah, I passive trained it and KP'd it. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I did leather working on stream and KP'd Merchant. I really did not like that skill. Like, full props to the people that were doing that whole strat of like buying stuff and dropping it on the floor by the merchant board, because I didn't know how that worked and I didn't want to look into it. I was just like, yeah, no, I'm just going to KP it.
Do you think that Fen would have thought of that kind of a merchant gameplay where people like just dropping and hoarding? And
no,
stuff?
They actually didn't realize it until I would say like January, February time. I was watching someone on stream.
Maybe like Sanhai or something, or Vorpal.
Yeah, no, I think it was Vorpal, or it could have been Umbi towards the end of his streaming career. On Brighter Shores.
The end of his
on Brighter
career.
Shores, on Brighter Shores, he's gone on to do great things. You know, he's back to his winning ways. You know, I've got nothing but love for Umbi. But yeah, we were watching one of those guys, and I was just like, these guys have some really good strats. And Andrew came over and was just like, "Why they got a load of items on the floor?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're dropping it, and then when they get the bounty, they pick the items up." And he's just like, "Huh, interesting."
And then they had a drop all feature.
Yeah, well, yeah, we try and help the players.
Yeah,
we try.
That's good. So it's funny that because I think merchant's a really good skill because people love it or hate it. Right? There's not like I kind of like merchant. People I love merchant or hate merchant.
It depends on your flavor of ADHD.
Yeah, isn't that changed by the minute?
Yeah. So, well, I kind of see merchant as a non-combat slayer skill where I'm being told what to do.
Right.
I don't like being told what to do. So, whereas the other skills, I have complete freedom. If I want to catch pufferfish to 500. I'm well within my right to do that. It might take a lot longer, but I can do that.
Yeah, there is one person doing that.
I think that's what I enjoyed about Chef so much was that you could choose whether you wanted to do the stews or the bacon sandwiches.
Yeah.
And they both had their pros and cons. Like one was slightly more AFK and lost less money. And the other one was more XP and not as much money. And I guess it just depends on the kind of person you are.
Well, it also
would kind of
it was the same with alchemy like at the time too.
Yeah, like you could just do the regular grinding of a potion, or you can do potent potions. And so, like, I think once people figure out what style they like to do, I think that allows for a bit more varied gameplay, which is why I'm not a huge fan of merchant, because it's only one thing you can do. There's only one way really to do it.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into like definitely more ways to train skills. Existing skills
100%.
would be really good for the players, and that sounds like something that you're working on right now, which I think we should touch on a bit later, within the limited capacity that you probably can.
Yeah.
But this is news to some people. I think we touched on it on another previous podcast, but you're not fully community manager now, so I really appreciate you coming on today. This is your free time, basically. Unpaid free time other than the money that's in your pocket.
Yeah, which everyone knows how much I get paid. Like, it was advertised, and people have access to that information. Like, and if you can't find it, like, I'm happy to share it. I'm not one of these people that hide it. I only get paid £30,000 a year, which is a very entry-level job in terms of salary for, the games industry, but not even just the games industry. I mean, you could go and work in customer support at, Sky or BT or EE and earn, pretty good money, probably more than what I earn. And I left a job that was 70,000 to take this job, So,
but you get free food. So
I do get free food. This week's menu sucked. Like,
I really feel.
I'm a quite picky eater. Like, and when I find something I like, I really like it, and I will just stick with it for life. But there are some things that I just do not touch.
Yeah.
And this week the menu just sucked for me. So, but the week prior it was amazing. I had a great week. I was very sick most days because I ate 2 full meals in one day, on top of all of the snacks that I regularly bring into the office. I'm the office pack yak in regards to I'll stop at the shop in the morning and I'll buy, a couple of tubs of chocolate around Christmas, bring them in. And like this week on Thursday, I brought in 4 chocolate muffins because there was only 4 of us in the office. And I just put them on everyone's desk and they're like, "Where's this muffin spawn from?" And I was like,
"Spawn from?"
Yeah. It's like, but I like doing that because like it gives people just like a little break away from things, just to think about, this is just a nice little chocolate muffin. I haven't got to think about anything else.
He's a chocolate muffin. Don't look at Reddit.
Yeah.
So we'll bring up the content side of stuff, because that's kind of related to what we're talking about today. Which is that Fen Research was recruiting.
Yes.
Recruitment. However, no longer taking applicants, I can see. So this is the post from Andrew Gower. It's like, hey, we're recruiting. Looking for 4 additional content developers and 2 different 3D generalists, which we found out about a couple of weeks ago. And then on your LinkedIn page, we have the full thing. I like how many times you mention that you have the right to work. You must have the right to work in the UK and live in Cambridge or live close enough to Cambridge.
Do you know how many people?
That's my follow-up question. How many people were like, "Oh, listen, I know I'm remote, but like I've got a really good portfolio, and how many?"
So, I'm obviously not going to say names because that's a big no-no. But someone was interviewed and then asked at the end of the interview, "Is it okay if I work remotely?"
As in, they were not in the UK resident, or?
No, they were.
Okay.
They were a UK resident, but they just wanted to work remotely. Okay. And it's like, we've gone through this whole process with you of like reading your application, inviting you to an interview, going through the interview process, like scheduling time out of our day, and then like you ask the question, "Can I work remote?" It's like all of that time is then just completely wasted.
But within the games, within the creative industry specifically, a lot of people are like, "Oh, work from home," but like they neglect to realize how much collaboration spawns from working with your colleagues.
Yeah. Like we spoke in the last podcast about my experience, right?
Yeah.
And I've been working remotely now since 2017, I've got to say. I would not go back to work remote now. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the occasional Friday from home. Like in the past month, I've only done like 2 Fridays from home.
Yeah.
Like the other days, like I've chosen to go into the office because the collaboration of being able to like spin your chair around and just get instant, discussions going with the rest of the team, regardless of who in the team is involved in those conversations, is great. It's also the social side of things. I missed out on like a social conversation, just like talking to somebody at work about, the work going on in my garden kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that. And lunchtime conversations, like not sitting there at lunch and just, when I work remote, I'll sit here and I'll play a game or I'll watch a YouTube video or a stream or something. And like I sat in the office the other day and we had a conversation about, politics and stuff like that. And like I got to ask questions to people that I didn't know the answer to. And I felt like it was really productive. It's like, it's so good for my mental health. Like, not that I've got like mental health problems. I might do that are underlying, but who knows? But I feel for me personally, I'm quite a social person and I like being social.
Yeah.
So being locked away for the past like 7, nearly 8 years, like I've come to realize I do not want to go back to a remote working job. And that's kind of why it's so important for like those candidates. Like you have to be able to work in the office because like the collaboration side of things is just second to none.
And in Australia, a lot of people do hybrid now. 3 in, 2 or 3 at home. Yeah, 3 in an office and 2 at home. And that kind of like that's kind of like what we've settled on.
Yeah.
Kels, have you done work from home before?
Like no, COVID, maybe? Only when there's been inclement weather and they don't want to give us the day off.
Right.
That's the only time.
It's like what schools used to do when it used to snow.
Yeah, it's a snow day.
They'd be like, yeah, it's a snow day. But now they can't get away with that because they're like, we went through COVID. Log on to Teams. You're not getting away with this anymore. It's like, no, kids these days don't get to experience a snow day. Yeah. Not like we get snow in the UK anymore. Like it's
so.
Oh yeah.
So something really funny is that my current job has a no work from home policy right now, like at all. However, when they were collecting everybody's laptops, they're like, "Kels, you keep a laptop," and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, I don't want to work from home."
It's actually, I might be wrong, but I think in the UK, by law now, they have to they have to abide by flexible working. Unless it's like you work in a hospital kind of thing. Like I think for the vast majority of jobs, like it's kind of a requirement. Don't know if it's a law, but yeah. Which is why we're kind of offered, like, if you want to work from home on a Friday, you can. But it's optional. And most people don't. Most people actually go in. But yes, 3D generalist, content developer that was then changed to game developer.
Yeah.
Very good.
Now you're not locked in your basement anymore, but you are locked in the corner of this office, right?
Oh, yes. Finally, I was able to leak a picture of the office. Most people are like, oh, you should put some pictures up. Oh, it looks a little bit like...
Depressing?
Yeah, depressing.
This is a video game company.
Yeah, like if you go and look at any video games company, like most of their actual like desk spaces look like this. But obviously, you've got art and big props that they get printed. You know, at the front of Riot or Blizzard, they've usually got like big characters and stuff like that as like statues and stuff like that.
Just a big. I want to see a big Fen Samuel with the leak in your hand, like your profile picture. That'd be funny.
Yeah, give us some time to put some art up, but like you can see in the back corner where my desk is. So mine's next to the fridge. You can see the photo frame. So my idea for the photo frames is every time that I release a quest or a piece of content that has the kind of like quest completion screen, I'm going to print it out, put it in the frame and hang it on the wall. So that whole wall is going to be like my achievements wall.
Nice.
Which I thought was quite a cool concept. It's something for me to kind of look towards as a goal to kind of like fill the wall. Paul has a pillar behind his desk, which is about a fifth of the size in terms of width, but it still goes the same height. Yeah. And I was like, if you printed off all of the stuff you've done, you'd already fill the pillar. And he's like, well, I'm gonna have to nick someone else's wall if I want to do the same thing.
And but that's Paul's leg, right? I think it was.
Yeah, that is Paul's leg. It is
big,
Paul's
big
leg.
Big leak.
Thing. Yeah, Andrew was stood behind me, making sure I wasn't taking a picture of something that I shouldn't be taking a picture of. And I did actually leave something on my monitor, but I cleverly hid it with the headrest of the chair next to me, so you can't actually see it.
Got it.
But yeah, that's the office as it currently is. Everybody gets to kind of design the desk the way they want to in regards to having stuff on it. So I have a couple of figurines on mine. The artists have way more stuff. Like they've got plants and figures and 3D printed stuff and books and everything else that you could think of.
The artists in your place get the three monitors, right? Because that's a Wacom tablet right there on the left side.
Yeah. So they get a choice of what they want in terms of like graphical stuff. Those are actually Nick and Greg's old ones. So they bought some new ones and they were going to buy Wacoms, but then we went to Wacom's website and they wouldn't let us enter the VAT number. So we said, well, you know, F you, we're going to another company. And we went and bought another company's product and they've been using those, which is why those, as you see it for the artists, those are for the new starters. But if the new starters come in and they're like, yeah, can I have one of these new ones? Like, Andrew will just buy them. But it also depends whether those people have setups at home, because a lot of artists, especially 3D artists, modelers, animators, they typically have a setup like this at home. And if there's a specific piece of equipment that they're used to using, we'd rather just buy them the stuff that they're used to using. So it may be that those Wacoms go away and they're just there as like a spare or a backup. But yeah, that's an artist desk. Behind that is another artist desk. And then the two behind that are content developers. And then between Paul and my desk is another two developers.
Is the is your desk the one by the sorry, Kels, the fridge and the microwave? Are you right next to the microwave?
Yeah, I'm the furthest away from everyone.
Okay.
Like, so in a line, there's 7 desks. So there's mine, there's 2 spaces, there's Paul, Ian, James, Andrew. And Andrew's right up against the wall where the other side of the wall is the streaming room and that setup and everything. And that is currently where all the art is. So where people are like, oh, where's all the art and stuff? There was art in the other office and it's made its way into that room because that room was quite not dark and dingy, but because it's a lot smaller, we wanted to kind of like spruce that room up a little bit before the other ones. So that's where the art is.
Yeah.
But we are going to print more stuff off and we're going to put it up. And as I said, like everyone's space is kind of their own. So, I get some creative freedom with my area and everyone gets to do the same thing. So it will start to come alive. The one thing you won't see anymore is stickers. Now, we call it Stickergate because somebody decided, and this was before I joined, this is years ago, they stuck an Apple sticker on the window of the last office and we had to get it off. It took hours to get this sticker off. So stickers are now banned, but I have so many stickers in my desk because I unboxed a load of new monitors and the PCs, and all of those companies typically
come with stickers,
ship stickers. And I was like, well, I'm definitely going to keep these. And I've been told, like, you're not allowed to put them up. I might put one up and see if I can, like, sneakily hide
Just
them
one at a
every
time.
now and again and see how many I can get to before I get caught. Because I used to do that when I was in school. Like the windows that run almost similar to as you see in the office, they'd run outside, and that's typically where like the year 11s would hang out. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to put behind all the cabinets and stuff really funny pictures and pictures, and I'd put them and blue tack them to the back of the cabinet so you can't see it from inside, but as you're walking outside you can see it. And we managed to fill that entire glass with just really rude things, which is funny when you're a kid until you get caught, and then they're like, it was definitely you. But yeah, that is the office as it stands.
Great. Kel, sorry, you were saying something before Samuel yapped.
I'm going to say I think someone in the podcast chat should enhance and see what was on Samuel's screen and decipher it.
Oh, it's hidden. I think we all did that as soon as the tweet came out. Everyone was like zooming in and like, oh, let me get in there.
People tried. I made sure. To be fair, it's not like it's
after that episode 6 leak. You're like, not again.
That was genuinely
never
so
again.
Funny. That was so funny. And what's worse is like I was moving the bars up and down between like my inventory and the professions, and I was leveling it out to where I personally have it in the game. If I'd have not done that, or like my levels in the, my bars in the game had been slightly different, I could have leaked so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Like really bad. We laughed about it and we thought, it was a good little. It wasn't even a stunt, but like it was, it was a good thing for like the game to kind of get something talking about it.
People who have really high mining level already figured some stuff out anyway. So
yeah.
Let's
just wait until you see episode 6 and 7's professions. They're
great.
Cool. They're really cool.
Let's talk about the updates. Update.
Yeah.
You had a way in the part in this, didn't you? Now you saying that some people are going to get really upset at you. Professions tab has been reordered to related professions are grouped together.
I thought people would be really angry about this.
No.
Loads of people said they like it.
Yeah, not many people did really complain too much about it.
I did a good dev thing.
Oh.
Not like the logout.
Put that on your wall. That'll be a one-off.
I might have to do it. It might be the only good thing I do.
So you changed it so like all the gathering, it's like gathering and then crafting or something like that.
Yeah,
in that order?
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Some pricing stuff, and then we had this premium pass striping from if you were a previous premium player and you went free to play before the update, and then you bought a pass after the update, you got like as if you were like level 1,000 in free to play, and then you bought a pass, and then like it gave people weird striping. But then Pasticcio and stuff said it didn't fix it. So what happened there?
Yeah, so initially it was going to be exactly as you read it there, and then at the very last minute it changed and we didn't update these patch notes. But then I said to hold off on it and just let people kind of discuss it, because it brings out an authentic way for people to bring up issues and say, oh, like Pasticcio said, he said, I did this and it's not really working for me. And I was like, okay, would you prefer it to be this way, or would you prefer it to keep the same? And it was a way for us to be able to kind of gather that
to test the actual post 1000 stripe and see how it was.
Yeah. So like we are there's a world in which we can make it exactly as you read it here for everybody. And it might be a case that we end up doing that as part of the combat phase 2 and just kind of update everything at that point and say, look, there's another change that's happening. It's going to affect you. And here's how it's going to affect you. And then it won't be too much of a kind of like chopped up combat change all the time happening, as opposed to, just doing it in two big chunks.
And just to confirm, do you mean like fixing people like Pasticcio, or do you mean like ongoing?
Yeah, fixing people like Pasticcio, but then like new players that join the game, like we want to ensure that their experience is just as
okay. So you want new players to not experience this weird free to play premium striping? Is that what you mean? Or you're not sure? Can't say.
Yeah, no, I can't say.
Yeah, because the reason why it's a bit far away.
The reason why I can't say, it's far away. We're still working on the combat rework part 2, and there's a lot of stuff that could change.
No, I don't want to delve into it because people get really excited, and then we'll get negative posts again.
Yeah, exactly. But that's kind of what we're looking at doing, is looking to kind of like make any changes to the way that combat currently is as part of like the combat rework part 2. And again, this stuff will enter into a beta where people will be able to go and play. So
yeah. Now this is the part where you stop having fun.
Okay. Lay it on me.
I'll tell you this for free. Okay, so now we didn't really get much of an update, just the QOL and the professor's change. And then we had you post this saying Andrew's been recruiting, giving an update and telling people what's going on.
Yeah.
You've done your second quest. That's really cool. Congratulations. That's all the writing and the actual, like, when you say, if you can say, when you say I've done my second quest, what are your duties in part of a quest before the technical work?
Okay, so
like an insight on how the quest goes.
So
if you can.
So the way that the programming works for us, and it's not the same for everybody and every piece of software ever.
Yeah.
FenForge, as it is kind of built in 3 levels. So at the very top, you have FenForge, which is the engine, and that is something that Andrew and James work on. Like, no one else touches that other than those, and it is predominantly Andrew, but James does do a lot of it as well. Like, James is incredibly intelligent. I don't think a lot of people give him credit for that, or as much credit as he deserves. Below that is what's known as Fen files, and those are kind of like the core gameplay mechanic engine type malarkey things that make things very polished, and that's all stuff from boss mechanics to like trading, PvP, all of those kind of like high level cogs and wheels that kind of like run everything. And then underneath that we have gameplay files. The gameplay files are, what most people would be to consider like the pure coding files, and that's where you would write stuff like, if quest 1.1 equals quest 1.1 variable started, and you speak to this person, then change quest 1.1 started to quest 1.1 spoken to this character.
You do your quest updates and the steps of that you see.
Exactly.
You got your quest items. Has this player got this quest item?
Exactly. So it's a big folder just full of all of these like gameplay files that have variable checks in them, all of the quest items as like graphical elements that then you put in.
Yeah.
And it's all of the code that goes behind that. So there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
So once that side of things is done, it's then handed to technical. So that is stuff, as I said, like you would see in terms of the giant newt fight on the ferry.
Yeah.
So that
That's
boss
technical.
fight
Yeah.
is considered technical.
Mm-hmm.
So we would create the landscape for it,
Yeah.
as in we would create like a rough ferry and a water area, and we put a big object there and say, this is a newt. And then, you know, the artist would come in and actually graphically model that boss, and then the technical programmers would come in and they would program the boss to work as we intend it. So yeah, that's how it works in regards to the programming. So
Yeah.
when I say that my quest is done, my first quest is done with its, you know, initial development, its gameplay development. It's completed its technical, it's completed its art and graphics. It is literally just waiting on one thing.
Yeah.
My second quest has finished and is ready for technical work.
Yeah.
And what I didn't include in that, because I didn't feel like it was necessarily like important, I guess, is that currently there's only 3 people that do technical,
Yes.
which is Andrew, James, and Ian. Paul doesn't do technical, and I don't do technical. Whatever reason that is, we just haven't. But when Andrew is back from holiday, which is also in those notes,
Mm-hmm.
he is going to be training me one-to-one, like one-on-one personally, to allow me to do technical work.
Yeah. And you have a game design degree, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, why is this community manager doing it?
Yeah, a lot of people say that is,
yeah.
You know, why is the community manager doing development? I have a university degree in computer gaming technology, which is computer.
And you played with, you used to do shit for old school RuneScape private server and stuff. You used to develop for it, right?
Like, yeah. So my background is in programming and development. Like I have a degree in it, and you know, I'm a competent programmer. And so I'm not a community manager that's kind of just been kept on like, oh, write a quest, do this. Like I'm actually doing the same level of work, maybe not the same quality that Paul does, but you know, it's not bad. Like my quests are quite good.
We'll see when we get it.
Well, it was one of the reasons why I was hired, is because I wrote a quest as part of my application, and they wanted to see that quest in the game. So I did it. And I did that while I was a full-time community manager.
Yeah.
I wrote that quest.
And
whereas
and that
now
took you
I'm
ages, and now
developer.
the second quest
was
faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, for people who, you know, don't like me as a community manager, you can not like me as a community manager, but I hope you like me as a developer. And the player base has dropped, and most people have said, you know, oh, I took a step back because the players are dropped. I think that's fairly obvious that was the case. I would have been let go if I wasn't of value to the team as a developer, because remember, they've just hired or put out adverts for 4 new content devs. They could have quite easily fired me and hired 5. They chose not to.
Yeah.
So I hope that gives people a bit of an understanding that they clearly believe that I can look for the game, and the fact that I've only been doing full-time development now for a month, and I'm already being trusted to learn the technical programming work and work on Brighter Shores' first endgame raid. Hopefully that gives people a bit of an understanding of like the level of trust and belief in my ability. But I don't need to prove anything to anyone, so
yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, don't worry about that. Now, so next week Andrew's on holiday, and let's talk about delays. So setbacks. So you got these quests lined up. It's like, I've done this quest, I'm ready to go. And so, I'd like to point out that no other developer would really come forward and say, this is the steps that we've done and taken, and like the level of detail that we get. And the reason that you give a lot of that detail is because we as a player base are needy as fuck, and we keep asking.
No.
But also you guys are transparent.
I'll answer this as honestly as I can. right? And I might get in trouble for it, but I'm going to speak from the heart. I do not like to operate the same as any other company in regards to like hiding behind a corporate name and trying to, shadow things and be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't say this. Fuck that, stupid, right? I try and have a laugh. I try and make things as transparent as possible. And I like to give people an understanding that at the end of the day, we are just humans. Like, we're not robots. We're here for the enjoyment of the game. We're here to develop something for you. And, by being transparent, we're never going to please everybody. If I went completely silent, everyone would be really upset. So, I'm just a transparent person. I'm going to carry on doing it until I get told to not do it anymore. But, this tweet, word for word, was approved.
Yeah.
So, it's not like I just write it and go, meh, and tweet it out or X it out or whatever. Like, it's an approved thing word for word. And, if the company wasn't happy to kind of talk about what's going on, they wouldn't talk about what's going on.
Yeah. And there's, here it is. Yeah. So like the quests, right? This is how it kind of went with the quests. It's like you're saying, as you're saying, it's ready. And it's like you come in, you smash my crystal ball, and then it's like next week, Samuel's quest. This has been going on since January. So let's talk about. And Kels, please jump in at any time, because I know you're sitting there looking pretty. You're thinking. I don't know if you have any thoughts. Jump in. But so like your quest has been ready for so long. And then you have the next one ready, and it's like we've been saying next week for this, next week for that, and I don't know if it's because we're too transparent. I don't know if it's because of all the setbacks, and they're no longer setbacks. Like, so there's been a lot of setbacks, and I was the one who did the research on the OSA because you guys didn't really express how bad it was. You tried to,
but by the way, all of us in the office said that was a great video.
Oh, thank you.
It was very clear, very precise as to what is kind of happening around all of this. And maybe we should have taken an initiative to kind of explain that in a bit more detail. But you did a good job. So
thank you. Do you agree when I say? Do you agree when I say you got one moderator, which is the chat mod, the AI bot, and then Jagex has like 3,000 player mods? Like, that's the kind of difference and why Jagex doesn't put forward all these changes? Or do you think Jagex will have to make changes as of March?
Jagex have to make changes. They're a UK-based company.
Okay. So you think we might see changes?
The UK. They have to do it. Yeah. And just because they haven't done it at the same degree of what we have, that's up to them. Like, every company is going to be different. And every company is going to operate slightly differently. Some companies will adhere to every rule by the final letter. Some companies will bend a rule. Yep. Valve told the UK to fuck themselves.
and some UK companies have shut down.
Yeah, exactly. Some UK companies are shut down because of it. Yep. At the end of the day, we are doing things based on what we at Fen Research believe is the best thing for us as a company to do. We're not interested in what other companies choose to do. We're doing it because this is what we believe is the best thing to do. I stand by the decision. Ultimately, people aren't happy about it, but I don't want to receive a huge fine, either personally or for the company, and I certainly don't want to go to prison for it, and I don't want to send Andrew to prison for it. So it's just one of those things that people are going to have to live with. But
I will say, I understand exactly like what's going on with, all of like the delays for these promises, I guess you could say, of what's coming. Yeah. But like there have been plenty of people, I've been in VCs where they feel like they're just getting a lot of trust me bros and gray areas.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, like, as someone who like believes in Fen Research and believes in the best, it's hard to kind of defend what's going on when it's been going on for a month or two.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and people need to understand that I'm not just an employee of the company. Like, I'm an advocate for the game. I play the game. You know, I take time out of my free time to enjoy spending time with the community. But even outside of playing Brighter Shores, like, you know, we've done those creator games nights of playing Among Us and stuff like that. And I want to make sure that, you know, the community is still strong and the community is in a healthy place. And I also want to see these content pieces come out, right? But like, even my quest, if we just talk about my quest as an example, right? I worked hard on that. Even before I got the job, I worked hard on that. And now to see that actually be kind of ready to go into the game and it just be held up by one thing that I am not technically able to do, and you know, there's only like one, maybe two people that can technically do that. Like, yeah, if these things are delayed, like, it does annoy me as well, but it annoys me as a player, as a member of staff. Like, I completely understand it, and like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, Andrew, you need to do this because I've told the community this, that, and the other. Like, absolutely not.
Did that once to the leaderboards.
Yeah, I did do that once for the leaderboards, and look how that fucking turned out. So, you know, that's the last time I do it. So yeah, I am completely on the community side when it comes to the whole, like, yeah, one more week, trust me, bro, like, it's coming, like, you know, just believe in us. But I hope people can see that the delays that we've had are legitimate delays. It's not like we've delayed things and then gone, oh, well, we actually don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there might not be an update in game, but the Online Safety Act stuff was all submitted on time. And then we've moved office. We've now put out all of the adverts and recruited for, you know, 4 new developers and 2 new artists. We're doubling the team that's in the office if you exclude Joe, but don't exclude Joe because he's an amazing audio guy. But we're literally doubling the team when the players are dropping. And I know people are upset that the players are dropping and we're not doing anything about it. But I hope people can realize that by doubling the team and essentially doubling the money that's coming out of our pockets every month, that should, you know,
and
put in people's mind that we are going to be moving in the right direction. And either way that we put it, if we'd have released my quest, released Paul's quest, done PvP, done trading over the past month or 2 months, whatever, and ticked off some of these things, we wouldn't be any further to recruiting more people. We wouldn't be any further to moving office or anything like that. So, like, one of them had to take the fall, and ultimately it was the content.
The content, yeah. Because we had to do the rework as well. So
yeah, exactly.
What do you think so we had tons out of all the delays. We've got the OSA, which is resolved, the combat rework, which is done, the
phase one,
the hiring phase one, the hiring, which is in progress, the there was one more, the holiday situation, which I'll go back to the tweet here and we'll go back to the Reddit posts too. People are pretty unhappy about the holiday situation. Now, you say it's UK law. I've had people disagree with me that it's saying it's not UK law.
Yeah, so every UK company is slightly different. Some companies run from January to December. Some run on the financial year, which runs from April
7th for some
godforsaken
reason.
Like, weird. UK being weird again. Right? It's not my rules. Don't shout at me. But a lot of companies run that financial year and that holiday year, right?
Yep.
Think about when Bright Shores launched, early November, okay? Leading up to that launch, do you think anyone took holiday?
Yeah, so
right?
that
do you think
all the way from
took holiday until Christmas?
Yeah, so
no.
April 2024 to April 2025, you basically no holiday, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you've got all of this holiday, and you know, I get a certain amount of allocated holiday a year. Every year that you stay on with the company, it slightly increases. So these people that have been in the company for like a good 8+ years, they've accrued additional hours that then accrue to additional days.
Yep.
That then gets added on. So yeah, when you then come up against Christmas time, and we're still doing a ton of quality of life at that point, and people are taking time off over Christmas, which is everyone's personal choice whether you do or don't. I personally didn't. Other people did. When you then get to March, like we had the conversation where one of the team had to take this entire week off because they weren't allowed to carry it over. So when that happens, there's nothing we can do. And I'd rather be like, people have taken time off because they've literally had to take time off because you can't carry over a certain amount. And whether people want to believe it or not, that's the rules. I'm not the UK law. I'm also not the HR department for Fen Research. So I'm just passing on the information, and that specific line that I tweeted was approved.
Yes,
so
the Andrew's on holiday part, and like people got pretty upset. Brits and Holidays name a better duo.
True. That is something that I will give them credit for. When I was at a prior company, I took a 3-week holiday to Florida.
Yeah.
And an American said, "You're taking a 3-week vacation?"
Yeah.
And I was like that's normal.
Americans are like, huh?
because I would do 2 weeks full on at like the theme parks and stuff, and then I'd do a week down in the Florida Keys or something to relax.
Yeah.
Because if I just did 2 weeks of all the theme parks, I'd come back and I'd be like, I don't really rest. Like, this is awful.
Yeah.
So I need that time to be able to have, a good period of time off. And people just don't really, but I fully get where people are like, oh, okay. But then
I think that
I spoke to you just prior to this podcast very quickly, and I explained the situation.
Yeah.
But Andrew does not take holidays. Okay. So Andrew taking a holiday is like so out of the ordinary that, and at the end of the day, it's a hobby. He doesn't need to do this. He's doing it because he wants to do it, not because he needs to. So if he's taking time to go on holiday with his family while his kids are still young and he can enjoy those memories, like, fair enough, you can complain. But at the end of the day, me personally, I just leave the guy alone and let him have his holiday. He is a human at the end of the day. Like, he's allowed a break. Like, and for the past couple of weeks that he's had, or past couple of months with the online safety bill, recruitment and stuff, if you'd have seen the amount of pressure that he was under for this whole period of time, and trying his best to keep the game afloat and everything in between, like, a week's holiday is nothing. Mm-hmm. Like, if it was me, if I was Andrew, I'd take 6 months off. Bye. I don't need to do this. Like, it's crazy. But I get that people are upset about it, but potato.
On transparency, do you think that it was too much information? Do you think that maybe keeping this under wrap, this one line, which did cause a lot of criticism, it's on Steam, it was very angry on Discord. For me, it's like, especially because Andrew, like your quest, for example, is going to be on hold, which we thought we might be getting this week, is no longer going to happen because he's taking leave, which is, as you've just discussed, it's perfectly fine. But maybe it was not a level of transparency that people
this comes down to like early transparency, right?
Yeah.
If I hadn't have even spoken about my quest, not spoken about it at all, no one would have known. And then we wouldn't have had to kind of had this, it's coming out next week. Oh, there's a chance that it will get developed next week. Andrew's working on it. So it's now on hold. So the whole conversation comes back to, should we even be talking to the community? Like, should we actually just go full incognito and just dump updates on people and be like, there's an update, enjoy, and just not speak to the community anymore? And it comes from, do you want an update about what's going on in the game? Do you not want an update? Things do get delayed. That's life. Like, it doesn't just happen within the games industry. Like, even when you order food, sometimes it can get delivered late because of traffic or whatever. Sometimes it can not even show up. Who knows?
Yeah.
So,
what do you think, Kels?
So I was actually thinking about this to myself in like the last week or so, but eventually, it essentially boils down to no matter what you do as Fen Research, you are fucked. Like,
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like,
It does not matter. I could make the entire game free to play. I could pay you to play the game and I'd still get in trouble.
Wait, where can I sign up for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, for example, like if you hadn't said, hey, I'm working on this quest, it's going to be coming soon, people would say, there's no content coming. What's the point of playing?
Yeah. And one of these big topics in this thread is we need endgame content. I tweet out I'm working on a piece of endgame content and people are like, what the fuck? Why is he doing that?
Why is the community manager
why is the community manager working on an endgame? Well, fuck it, I won't do it then.
Yeah, there's a negative comment here. Is quite funny. Where was it? Beginning designing is something I want to hear, because someone says like, oh yeah, you should have had this in design works already. Which is just because you guys are treating early access as actual early access instead of just like, 10, I'm going to be in early access for 10 years. Where is it? I know where it is. Oh yeah. If Fen Samuel isn't developing, will be developing an endgame raid, my hopes aren't high. Which is funny because you're the one who has been talking about a raid for quite a while now. Your idea and hope for it. I don't know if that's what you're working on, but I know that Andrew liked it.
An idea, it's an idea. And when I shared it, the community seemed to be on board. Like, yeah, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, because
and like that's not a polished product, by the way. That's the kind of thing that I'd go and I'd put it out onto paper.
Yeah.
I'd share it with the team. I'd ask for their feedback, and then it could change and adapt and become something amazing. But like, yeah, if I'm developing it, my hopes aren't high. All of the people in the company have got like computer science degrees.
Yeah.
I have a computer games degree. Computer science is very different because that is pure programming. Computer gaming degree is development and design. So I actually did like multiple modules on the design elements of games. So that's why I'm being entrusted to design an endgame raid. And that's why
do you raid in MMOs? Do you play other MMOs? Like, have you played?
I do.
WoW, Final Fantasy?
Yes. So I've raided at a very high level in various games. World of Warcraft is my kind of go-to for like high-level raiding, or at least it was back in the day. I still remember Nihilotha.
Yeah. Post your armory link, otherwise we won't. Not post armory link.
No, I can't because the name is not appropriate. It's not safe for work.
Okay.
But yeah, my rebellious face. But yeah, I used to raid, and I did it with friends, and we'd push Mythic, we'd complete it. But I volunteered within the esports industry, and I got to work quite closely with some top level guilds. One was Pieces, and the other was Method. And I actually got to raid with those guys on some of their like Mythic split nights and like alt account nights. So I actually got to experience like high level raiding from like a professional raiding side of things. But then also, Throne and Liberty came out, last year, and I pushed the end game of that and was, competing with a pretty competitive guild both in PvP and in PvE. And I've done it for various games, Destiny, and I've done old school RuneScape. As much as I hate to admit it, I have done raiding in that game. And there's lots of elements from those games that are very good. There's some that are very bad. So I understand the landscape of a raid quite well. And yeah, from a design perspective, I feel like I could design something that's quite cool. And ultimately, the only person that can approve me to do these things is Andrew. And if Andrew's turned around and said, yeah, you can do that, but not only can you do that, can you confirm to the community that, I've entrusted you to do that? Then I think the community should give me a little bit of
I don't like immediately criticizing before we see the work. If it's shit, if it comes out and it's shit, I will bring you back on here and we will talk about how it's shit.
Yeah,
because I've done high level rating too, and it's like
if the raid comes out and people listen, there's a difference between a raid coming out and some people not liking it and some people loving it, right? We even see that in old school. Some people love Chambers and they don't like Theatre of Blood. Some people love Theatre of Blood and don't like Chambers, right? There is like people's opinions of raids change from raid to raid in the same game. So it could be that my first raid is really good, but then the second raid sucks. It could be the other way around. I don't know. I don't know how people are going to take it, but I am a man of the people. and I want to deliver an endgame raid that is not just engaging, but repeatable and gives you rewarding loot and allows you to play with the whole community. Like, I don't want to segregate people just because they're a low level, and I want to reward people who have been around for a long time and have sacrificed time and effort into the game as well.
Great.
So I'm looking at both sides of it. So, like, just, if you're not happy because the community manager's creating the content, then that's fine. But like, I am contracted down as a developer now, so give me a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate here that the people who are the most negative aren't necessarily the norm as far as the community goes. I know for a fact, and there's been even people in the chat saying that, like, for every one person that is extremely critical about the game and Fen Research's choices, there's 10 people who love everything that's happening.
Yeah, and that, you look at a game like Schedule 1. I won't talk about it too much because it's not that.
I was looking at that yesterday.
It's not along the line. But I bought that game the second it launched. Okay, I had no idea what it was like. I didn't play the demo. I just saw the advert and I was like, great, I'm going to play it. It is 98% positive with 20,000 reviews on Steam. Okay?
Yeah.
You average about 1 in 10 to 20 people, if that review a game.
Yes.
Okay.
And for free to play, it's worse, by the way.
So the other, So the other hundreds of thousands of people that have bought that game are happy enough where they don't even have to leave a review because they're just satisfied with the product.
Yeah.
Right. I haven't reviewed the product. And I've reviewed nearly every product in my Steam library, and I still haven't done it. It's not that I'm not happy with the game. I think the game's great, but I just kind of like stay out of the way. I haven't really found a reason to go and review it yet because I haven't sunk enough time in because I've been so busy. But yeah, there are a load of people that are happy with what we're doing, and yes, there are obviously going to be a vocal group of people who are negative. There's also going to be a vocal group of people that are happy. And I'm happy to hear both sides of it. And, even in regards to that tweet, a load of people came back and were really positive. I liked their tweet. I liked their reply. That's it. And then one individual posted his feelings about everything, about the tweet and about, his opinion on the game. And I genuinely appreciated his feedback. And I say that, and I genuinely do appreciate the feedback, even if it's negative. So, yeah. It is what it is. We love it either way.
Yeah. I'd be careful of saying like, it's all vocal minority, because I think that we have lost a lot of players. So I think the remaining players are quite vocal.
Yeah.
But there are a subset of people who don't even play the game and they're just like shitting on it constantly too. So it's
yeah,
really...
I know. But you're always going to get that. You're always going to get people who no longer play a game, but then they still have an opinion of the game. And that's fine too. I welcome it. You're welcome to your opinion. And I still read all of those comments and I still take that feedback on board. Just because somebody doesn't play the game, even if they've only played for 5 minutes, I still value their feedback just the same. There's no reason to disregard it.
This thread had tons of really good feedback from people who didn't play anymore, which is good.
Yep.
It did. You guys have read this. This is someone I don't like talking about these like player count thing because it's such an easy thing to like, oh look, the game's dead or the game's trash. I've got my opinions on that. I don't think the game is dead until the devs give up. I know that there's tons of MMOs that have been going for 15 years with like 500 players or fewer, just because the people who do play it really like the game, and maybe they won't get back to 20. This game should have never had 20,000 in my opinion. I don't think we should have ever reached this point from launch. Mm-hmm. Once it's got more content, yes, but like that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, games are always going to kind of have ebbs and flows.
Yes.
I mean, you see it when was the last time Counter-Strike got an update? Like a real genuine update. But for some reason, it's still breaking its own record. So, like, it confuses me how, some games just like don't really update like the core gameplay, or they don't do anything like life changing, and then all of a sudden they start skyrocketing in players again. And it's like, we're going to go through ebbs and flows with regards to player count.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. We're going to get an influx when we do like big content drops. We're also going to get, influxes of players when mobile drops.
Yes.
Or when anything else happens to the game, or when we do a big marketing push or whatever. Like, these are going to change. But yeah.
Yeah, we just need that as we discussed all the setbacks and stuff. But this thread, like, I don't normally like these threads, but this one was like, what do you think?
I like the thread.
Yeah, this normally they're shit. Normally it's like, oh, the game's trash, the game's dead, blah blah blah. But this one's like
a load of really good feedback in that thread.
Feedback in this one, and it all comes down to content. Yeah,
yeah. First one, content, and then I say, oh, I'm going to make some content, and people are like, don't do that. Don't let him develop content.
Well, I think a lot of the time it's like, well, you're like working on the endgame raid, right? But it's like you've also worked on 2 quests that haven't come out, and nothing. All these you guys have been shifting across, like, hey, you do your stand up or whatever, and you talk about what you're gonna do, working on today, and then you talk to us about it, like, hey, this is what they're working on, but none of the stuff that you've worked on has come out because of different workflow issues and the delays and this and that, as we discussed. And just nothing's been finalized, so people are really frustrated, I think, because it has been 5 months,
which is understandable, and I completely get that. And most developers would be like, no, I'm not coming on a podcast and talking about it. Like, screw you. Like, I'm happy to sit here and talk about it because I feel like the community deserves transparency, but maybe too much transparency. But, I'm certainly not against kind of reining back on speaking about things, if that's what people would prefer. If they prefer Fen Research to just not talk about something until it's
I don't
ready
think you
to
give
come
timelines. I think unless it's like one timeline we can talk about, the Easter event. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Is that coming next week? Do you know? Because you mentioned in the tweet.
So I put in the tweet an announcement.
Yes.
About the Easter event.
So is this an announcement of the event or the event? Because now we're confused. So there is an ongoing joke within the games industry, right? Which, me and others in the company find funny, which is an announcement of an announcement. Okay. Now, the Easter event, people are very much aware that, the Christmas event, it came and then it just disappeared. Vanished, right? And people were really upset that we just kind of like stopped it and we didn't let people know kind of like, here's how it's going to work. It doesn't matter how much notice you give them anyway.
So, next week is going to be here is the Easter event. Here's when it starts. Here's when it ends. Here's how it's going to work, so that everyone can then prepare for it, and then it will drop. I can't give exact dates because I've been told explicitly not to give it exact dates.
Yeah.
But that's partly because we want to trial this new, we're going to alert you to something and see how you feel about, this kind of heads up and this way of working.
Yeah.
So it's, and it's something where it's not a huge piece of content. Like, it's not going to change your life if you miss this event. It's not like a raid or combat rework.
Some people will literally quit over it, bro. It's like I my dog died, then my grandparents died, and then I had to fly to like friggin' the USA, and then I couldn't play for 3.5 weeks, and it's your fault.
Yeah, I know. So, rather than us just being like, here's a piece of content, or rather than us being like, hey, this piece of content is coming out on this exact date, like, and then not really give you anything to kind of like talk about and hype up and stuff like that, we're trying out something that, doesn't make a huge issue in regards to not telling you straight away, but also allows you to, get a bit of a heads up. Like, logistically, Easter is like 3 weeks away, right?
Yeah.
So the Easter event is going to come within the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's just common sense. The announcement is going to come early next week.
Yes. And then from there, but like, so I think, like we were saying with regarding the transparency and stuff, maybe you alluding to something coming next week maybe you should just talk about what's happening. That's my personal opinion. But like, if you talk about what's happening in the team, and then when you have a date and it's ready to go, you like push it a few days and then you have an announcement for it and you keep that kind of schedule, that might help a little bit. Just because like the whole Andrew thing, a lot of the problem is like, we know that we could have this quest if Andrew didn't want to take a break, God forbid.
Yeah, I know,
but
right?
he did, so we won't get the quest. Unless someone else can do it, but I think that you do believe it has to be approved by Andrew. So
yeah, which I mean, that just comes down to, again, priorities. Like, what do we want to prioritize? Do we want to prioritize, you know, a quest coming out and then people completing it like fairly quickly, and then being like, okay, well, people completed it straight away because they had the stats already because the game's been out a while, so a load of people completed it, and then they're like, right, I completed it, like, what's the next thing, right? and it's like, well, you told us to finish this thing and now we're a week behind on recruitment, or we now haven't moved office yet and we need to do that. So that there is no winning. Exactly what Kel said. Like, it doesn't matter what we do, we cannot win in the eyes of some people. There are a lot of people that are just like, okay, cool, quest has been delayed again, it's fine, is what it is. But then obviously there's people, and I'm one of them, that's like, the quest has been delayed again. Shit. So, yeah, like, it will come at some point.
How are you feeling about the delays and stuff, Kels?
I just like playing games, seeing number go up.
Yeah, yeah. Are you like one of the few people who are just like, I'm just vibing?
Yeah, I'm just vibing essentially. Like, whatever happens. Like, a lot of people do come to me and vent their frustrations about the game to me, and I just kind of absorb it, and I'm like, that's valid. It's valid, but it's not really.
I completely agree. I think everyone is valid to have those opinions and valid to be upset. And you know, if it wasn't for the fact I worked at Fen Research, I'd still be a paying customer, and I have to look through the eyes of a paying customer in regards to the content over the past, you know, couple of months has been relatively slow. Like, what have we paid for? And I completely get it. But
I do have one frustration about the game.
Go on.
Here we go.
Yeah, spit
it out. Get it out there.
I don't know if Samuel already knows about it. I sent an email about it to Fen like a week or two ago. But the level gaps between skills, like, I understand why there would be a slight one between, say, gathering in alchemy, foraging in alchemy, what's another one? Merchant and leatherworking. But they're almost absurdly too large.
She's been doing merchant. She's been doing merchant 100%. She's like trying to do leatherworking, and then like the merchant is like 50, like it's like 50 levels higher, and then she's like, why can't I do leather? 100%. That's what she's looking at. It lines up post 200 though.
But it's also with alchemy. It started with me realizing it for alchemy, because especially with the combat rework. So the issue with alchemy and the combat rework is now there's these mats that are needed through combat drops, and I can go and kill hags for half an hour and only get 3 of those mats, and it's
that can't be
ridiculous. Right. Yeah, and I did send an email about it, and I understand there might be like a reward penalty, but like,
no, that doesn't. Are you?
But like, I was still getting like 6 gear drops. So like, I'm like, okay, why am I still getting 6 gear drops, but I'm only getting 3 of these alchemy mats? So it's like there's entire potions that there's like the only thing that makes sense would be to buy the mats, but then that kind of seems counterproductive.
They're very expensive.
Yeah,
those ones that you're talking about. Even how far easy penalty are you doing? Like, are they really far below your level?
I can't think off the top of my head because it's been a while since I've done it, but within 60 levels for sure.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just Kren's. I haven't done too much killing. Maybe Kren's alchemy drops. It might be just that. Samuel, have you thought about that or seen that?
I didn't touch the combat.
Yeah, no, you didn't, but
and especially in regards to like specific drops, in regards to emails and stuff, when it comes to that, I would have just forwarded that to the person who it is kind of important for to take a look at.
Yeah, because my only other option is to level combat 139 more times, so to see if that increases the drop rate.
Get to it.
Yeah, just do that. You like number go up, so
that's pretty
like combat.
That's pretty valid. You should have done the beta test. Come on, Kels.
I did do the beta test, and I wasn't working on alchemy in the beta test. I was just doing combat stuff in the beta test.
This was combat rework.
Yeah, this thread has tons of feedback exactly like that. Just like
it does
bugs and a lot of focus on content, which you think April will look better. Dare I ask this after saying that, no more dates?
So every recruit that we hire is going to be different, right?
Yeah.
So I won't go into specifics, but we'll just use a broad term of recruitment in general. If you recruit 4 people, right, it could be that, one of them is a senior, 3 a junior, or maybe 3 a senior, 2 a junior, or whatever it is, right? And those people will also be employed or not employed. They could be freelancers. They could be seniors in other jobs. And their notice periods are going to be slightly different. Some people will have a 1-month notice period. Some people are immediately available. So everybody is going to kind of start at different times. Okay. Now, I don't know how this is going to work logistically because I'm not at the level to actually negotiate that kind of thing or be a part of that.
You're not HR yet.
Yeah, I'm not HR yet. Okay, I did help with the recruitment in terms of like looking through portfolios, giving opinions on things and such.
Rejecting US applicants.
Yeah, that. But yeah, in terms of like offer letters, start dates, all of that kind of stuff, like I've got no involvement in that at all. Like we're just going to get told like, hey, there's a new starter. They're coming on this date. And then that's going to be the process. So whilst I'd love to say like, yeah, April's going to be a great time. Like April, probably not realistically, because you've also got to remember that as good as these people may or may not be, they're coming in and they're learning an entirely new game engine that does not exist online. They're learning a programming language that they may be confident with other languages, but again, it is a new language that they need to learn. They also need to learn how the game is built through gameplay files and through other things. They need to learn the workflow of how we work as a company. There's all of these different things that need to be kind of put in place. It's not like they just come in and instantly it's like, oh, well, they've made a quest in a day. Like it doesn't work like that. So let's say like best case scenario, right? Andrew's away next week. No one is going to be starting next week because why would Andrew hire people and be like, hey, come and start work? By the way, I've gone on holiday. It's not going to be realistic, right? He's the boss. He wants to be there present when people enter the office. So no one is going to be starting next week, okay? So let's say that best case scenario, somebody starts the week following, okay? It's going to take them a little while to get confident to the point where, we've trained them enough to kind of leave them and to allow them to learn everything at their own pace. Some people are going to be quicker than others. Some people are going to be, asking a lot more questions. So again, that takes time away from other people because you kind of have to tutor them and mentor them and such. So I wouldn't anticipate that April's all of a sudden is going to be bang, there's loads of stuff. But am I a believer that we will see content in April? Absolutely. I do believe we will see content in April because
no more setbacks like we discussed.
Exactly.
Other than the hiring.
the only setback there is the recruitment of people, like
Yeah.
people's, introductory couple of days. We're not just going to bring someone into the office and be like, "There's your desk, off you go."
Yeah. Well,
like,
that is kind of what you did though, right? Because you did your quest in your first week as well. So there is
I
little
mean,
bit.
yes,
Not exactly, but I just remember you saying that.
I guess I was kind of a rare flower.
I'm a different breed. I'm just built different.
Yeah, I'm built different. No, it is rare that, yes, that, like, for me, I came in, and because I was the community manager, I kind of came in and I knew what I was doing instantly because I've done this before. So everything was second nature. I just kind of got told, like, here's how you do everything. And I was like, cool, leave me alone. And that's what I did to process it. But then when I started working on my quest, it was like, okay, well, let me learn the fundamentals of this thing. And I sat one-on-one with Andrew and I learned it all. And then I was like, cool, if I need any advice, I can speak to Paul about it. And that's the way that I did it. That might not be the same for every single person that comes in. So, and I'm not going to speak on their behalf. They might be the same as me. They might not. I'm not saying that I'm a freak of nature or anything like that because I did it like that. It's just that's the way that I work personally. So,
yeah. And as you hire, you'll see how it goes, basically.
Yeah. But no, I'm a strong believer there will be content in April. What that content is, I don't want to say because I don't want to, eat my own words again. But like,
next week.
I'm
Samuel's quest
I'm
next week.
I'm still an advocate for my quest next week. I'm still a believer. It's not going to be next week because Andrew's away. But will it be the week after? Believe me, I'm going to go into that office and I will plead to have it done. Okay, I will plead for there to be some form of content coming to you very, very soon.
Yeah. As my 10% job as QA community manager, please, dear God, the community. Have you ever watched Mythic Quest?
Pardon?
Have you watched Mythic Quest?
Have I watched Mythic Quest?
It's a TV show. Yes, it's called Mythic Quest.
I have not.
It's by the Always Sunny guys. They made they made a show about making an MMO. It's very good, by the way. Everyone who's listening to this should watch it. It's a love letter to MMOs. They have a community manager, and she's like a pearl clutching Christian, and she's like, the player base, please. She gets all the comments in flame. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, that is me. I mean, I get all the time. You know what's really funny is Paul came up to me the other day and he's like, we should update the banner to Brighter Shores, a game by Andrew Gower and Samuel Hartwell. Because most people now just completely forget that everyone else works there, but they're just like, Andrew and Samuel are the only people.
I have seen
and I'm
that.
like, why am I getting scapegoat?
Did you see that? Someone on my OSA video said like a comment. It was like, Samuel should just take the whole business from the UK and work in the US. And I'm like,
I know. It's like, I am the newest person. Stop referring to me as being the person who can like.
You're the face of the game.
I'm just gonna take the game and just move to the Bermuda Triangle or something. Like, no,
please, just develop on a boat. Just no more legislations.
I'll develop on a boat. I'll fly a flag. It'll be great. Life will be amazing. Yeah, I do find those. I've seen a few of those comments. They are very funny. But yeah.
See, I mean, I said it yesterday during Fen Friday, Samuel, but like, you guys can hire me to just be a little cheerleader and positive vibe guru, and I'll just sit in the office and play Brighter Shores and just say everything is great and you guys are doing a great job.
Oh, they don't need that.
I said on Fen Fridays yesterday that there was someone who applied who was a really good break dancer. I was like, we should hire them just for the morale. Just randomly, just like, hey, his name wasn't this, but just like, hey, Kevin, can you just break dance for us? We need a bit of a
Kevin Bacon.
Like, Kevin Bacon Mountain. Buy your merch. Buy the Bacon Mountain merch.
Oh, God. More advertising on my stream.
Yeah, advertisement.
Hey, I'm actually wearing my merch too. The 21 chef merch.
Yeah, Tells is the only person wearing the merch. So
I'm waiting for my merch. I want my TLDR shirt. I'm waiting.
Wait, you want me to make you one?
No, it's got to come from Samuel. He's waiting.
It's got to be an official Fen Research product.
Yeah. That's the standard.
Is that meme even viable now?
No, I think it's out of date. It's too late.
I think maybe will probably.
Maybe.
Oh, and I'm also wearing an OJ Allen beanie.
Oh my god. See,
Nice.
shipping for me is like it's a $20 product and $30 shipping. So yeah, get fucked. Sorry guys. I'm not buying
but
your
that's
stuff.
your choice. That's your choice.
Oh, it's my choice, is it? Like your choice to live in the UK?
It's called a Newcastle big boy.
Yeah. It's your choice to live in the UK and deal with the UK laws. Yeah.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, it's not my choice, right? If Andrew said, "Hey, we're up and going to Monaco," I'd be on that plane in a heartbeat. Bye.
Let's talk about these. I have a couple of messages in the bottles. People send me messages. They can come privately, anonymously, or not. For Samuel, what is your favorite part about being part of Fen Research team so far? I think we've touched on this before, but now it's been a few months, so maybe your opinion's changed.
I would say the best part is just being in the room with such intelligent and people who are just so passionate about what they do. Like being able to be in the same room as these people who you grew up playing their first game, and then to be able to work on a game with them and your creative ideas get like good praise. Like I struggled through school and I never really thought that I'd have a career doing anything of value. I never really knew where my place was in the world. And then, going through university, getting a degree in the games industry, and then actually, having that kind of come full circle is like, it's a real blessing. So that's genuinely the best thing. I don't think anything will top that. Like, it'll be cool to see like something I create actually make it into a live video game that people experience, like a quest or, any other bit of content. But yeah, the kind of praise and acknowledgement from people who I looked up to growing up is really cool.
Yeah, I can imagine. It'd be pretty surreal.
Yeah. I know loads of people are jealous because I get to work with Andrew. So
as your 1,000 applicants would deem the show.
Yeah. I mean, whether those people know Andrew or not, I don't know.
The mysterious device. Now don't fuck with me here. Just give us the truth, please. Because if you send people on a wild goose chase, it's so much worse. Is it really in the game?
The mysterious device is in the game, yeah.
No, not. Let me rephrase this person's question because they've done it wrong. The mysterious device and what it interacts with, or any secrets related to it, does that exist in the game as of today on the player client?
Maybe.
Fuck!
Maybe.
No.
You knew I was going to answer with that. Like, what do you want me to answer? You want me to tell you the hidden secrets?
You were saying on Fen Friday that it was, but you were saying, oh, I see what you were saying. The mysterious device is in the game. Is that what you were saying?
The mysterious device is in the game. And
yes.
Listen, Fen Fridays is officially unofficial. It's there for me to let my hair down at the end of the week and have some fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It could be in the game.
No.
It could also
no, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it.
We don't know.
I'm not hearing it. That's too early. We're not doing that. Okay. Let's do a Q&A. I think.
Okay.
You guys want to do a Q&A? I think we'll do that.
Let's do it.
Because all the questions are going to be for Samuel, not me. So
no, I want people to just ask questions to Kel and Kels. I'm not answering anything.
There you go.
I'm just going to sit back. Like,
I'm sorry,
the easiest podcast of my
life.
life.
You have said about as much as a rabbit.
No, she said the very important thing of no matter what you do, you're fucked. I think that's a key moment.
Yeah, no, that is very key.
That's very important.
Very important.
What does Kel's mod? That's a good question. Lanark. What is Kel's mod?
Streamers.
You mod streamers? Is that your
Twitch
job?
streams? I bully streamers too.
Great.
Yep.
The 3 streamers we have left. No, we got tons. It's really fun hanging out with them.
Yeah, but I started modding in the Minecraft Twitch community, and they probably think I'm dead right now. So
Oh, did you you make mods or you play mods?
no, like I mod Minecraft Twitch streams and their Discord.
Okay.
She's basically a moderator for many children.
Many children.
No, actually, they're adults. They are adults. They just have a lot of children viewers that need to get smacked around a bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You moderate the children.
Yeah.
Maybe I should let you cherry pick these, but I don't like it when you do it
It's been like a perfect form of birth control, let me tell you.
Samuel, I'm not gonna let you cherry pick. I'm gonna ask these. Is Andrew effectively the bottleneck? Does all the content have to be final checked by him? Can't James do some of it? Can you answer that?
So Andrew likes to oversee things because obviously it's his vision. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything has to go through him.
Yeah.
But he just likes to know what's going on with his game. At the end of the day, it's his game. It's his product.
It's his investment.
His baby. So, yeah, exactly. So if it was me in his shoes, I'd want to be the bottleneck. I want to know what's going into the game. I want to make sure that it's it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
To go into the game.
I think it's really important.
Also, it kind of goes through Paul as well, because Paul wrote the entirety of Brighter Shores alongside Andrew. So when it comes to writing a quest, for example, it has to kind of match up lore-wise. It can't really bend too far. Like if I randomly turn around to them and was like, hey, we need to give this boss fight a gun, they were like, but we're not putting guns in the game. Or, I want to put a motorbike in the game. It's like, but we're not putting motorbikes in the game. So there's stuff that we do have to follow. But, everybody's kind of a collective bottleneck. Like everything kind of goes through everybody. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily just Andrew. It's kind of everybody.
It's just like you still got to get used to the workflow, especially with new developers coming in too.
100%. And after a while, you do get trusted to just kind of be left alone to your own devices. Like on my second quest, I just got told, this is the area you're doing it in. Good luck. And that was it. I didn't get told anything. And I created everything from the ground up. And when I explained, I already started working on it. I was like 2 weeks into this quest before I told anyone what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, that's a cool idea. And then I explained the reward and they're like, you have fucked us again. I'm not going to go into reasons why I've done that, but I've really fucked them. They've got to do a lot of work. There's the creative freedom to do things like that don't get bottlenecked. And then ultimately it comes out and it will probably be a really cool thing and people will be happy with it. So,
yeah. And I think it's really important to remember that when this is speculation from my part, but when Andrew was basically forced to sell RuneScape because he had lost creative control of the game because he was too busy being a CEO, and he probably doesn't want that to happen again. So he probably does want a little hand in how things are going, I imagine.
So just to completely debunk you, Andrew was never the CEO of Jagex, ever.
Okay, that's from his interview, by the way.
Yeah. So
or like CEO responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he had responsibilities because he had huge shares in the company. But yeah. I don't know about the
maybe I use the wrong.
I know about his time at Jagex because I've spoken to him like on a personal level. Like
I don't want to go too much into it.
I'm not going to go into it. Yeah. But like,
that's just kind of my idea about it.
I'd kind of disagree with it.
Okay.
But I'm respectful of your opinion.
Okay. Let's go through these.
People calling for the ban of a troll in the podcast chat.
I saw what they were saying. It's not too bad. They are allowed to disagree. I don't mind people disagreeing. I don't immediately jump to people disagreeing as trolling, by the way. So that's...
No, I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about like a player, not like...
Oh, like ask Fen Research to ban him. Okay.
Yes.
Going through these, we have... Oh, yeah, ban 8U, I see it. NPCs have really cool outfits. Will new cosmetics be soon to update? I hate that word. That's a maybe.
So, say that again, a little bit slower.
Sorry, Australian. NPCs, especially Marcus Mint, have really cool outfits. Will new cosmetics be an update, a soon-to-be update?
I would love to do more cosmetics. I know, for example, the new content developers that are coming in will more than likely be working on quests to understand the foundation, similar to how I did, you know. As for the artists, I don't know what they're going to be doing. I haven't had those discussions. So it could be that the artists are going to be working on cosmetics because, you know, it's a fairly low lift kind of thing. They get to work with the body shape of our characters before anything else.
Yeah.
It could be that they're thrown in the deep and they're told to make assets for quests or you know, anything else. But I don't know how it's going to work.
Yep.
So, yeah, as much as I'd love to say, yes, cosmetics are coming, it's definitely a plan to have cosmetics, and I'd love to have more cosmetics. But, yeah,
Remy,
you're going to have to wait.
Yeah. Remy really wants to know if Jiraiya, I don't know how to say his name, Jiraiya.
Don't even bring that little shit up.
Okay, cool. No worries. Next question.
No, you can.
Would he, if he proposed on one knee, would you say yes or no?
No.
You say fuck no.
Question.
Fuck no.
Yeah, stupid question. I wouldn't marry him.
Is your award's too powerful? Question for Samuel. Does the Combat Rework Part 2 preclude the raid, or is it too early to say? Probably too early to say.
No. I'm gonna come out on a limb here and say no. It probably won't.
Yeah.
Reason is, like, I want to make sure that I don't just deliver like an okay product. I want to make sure that I deliver you a really good product. So I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to go out there and be like, okay, I'm going to give you a product.
This is a really early mention.
Yeah, like, I'm just letting you know, like, as a transparency, I'm not going to be working on another quest. I'm going to be working on, you know, a piece of endgame content.
Yeah, and then the new guys will be working on quests anyway, probably.
Yeah, so, exactly. The new guys are going to be working on quests. So it feels right for me to kind of step away from that because there's going to be an influx of new quests that are going to come in. I may as well work on something. Otherwise, all you're going to have is like quests. So I may as well just kick it off and work on something else. I mean, ultimately, I could turn around and be like, okay, well, maybe a raid is a bit too big of a project just for me to work on. How about I work on a repeatable boss? How about I work on a dungeon? How about I work on a mini game? But I have an idea for a raid, which I've spoken about, and I'd like to kind of see how that looks on paper and get the opinion of everyone else in the office. So I'm probably just going to do that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, so you can't even talk about what you're...
I'm probably going to stick to the raid because I like the idea of doing that. And I think that I'm at a position now where I'm confident enough in my ability to actually pull it off. But yeah.
So when you say you've been tasked to design it, you mean like literally you've been tasked to design it? Does not mean you've touched it yet. So we couldn't even ask you what's it about because you haven't really.
No. I mean, people know my idea from what I've spoken about, like, personally. That doesn't mean that is going to be the idea I'm going to run with. Like,
it's just a sense of your idea about
I might put down like 5 ideas of that same level of detail down and be like, which one of these do you prefer? And then look at that one in more detail. Yeah. So it's going to be a while before I come out and say to people, like, this is the idea for a raid. I might not even do that. I might just hide it and be like, ta-da, here's a raid in like X amount of time later. See how I didn't say like 6 months later or something stupid?
Yeah.
So then people can't come back and
well,
people are going to say, "Oh, he said 6 months now." Oh my god! But yeah, like I want to be able to share stuff with the community, and I want people to stay in the loop. And that's what I'm going to be working on. Anyway.
Cool. Is Paul Gower thinking of doing any quests as long as Wild Gothic Sleeps or the quest series such as Epic as Majorat storyline? Which, why am I even here? I'm not. Yeah.
So bigger, better, longer, funner.
21 episodes.
21 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Many connections.
Yeah.
Big storyline.
Samuel slipped and said 22 episodes yesterday during Fen Friday.
I did do that. Yeah.
That sounds
so.
Like
there's
an
now
accident.
22 episodes.
Yeah, it could have been a genuine mishap on my part. There's either 21 or 22. One of them.
Yeah.
Go back and look at the Reddit where Andrew answered it. That's the real answer. I'm thinking outside the box because I've created an idea for an episode now.
How will you solve the problem with communication, like not being able to traverse rooms, like so room chats and stuff like that?
So we spoke about this before. We want to do profession channels. So we want you to be able to, very much how I'm now blacksmithing. If I move to this room or I go to the shop, I still want to be able to talk to the people that are also doing blacksmithing. But also there could be people, that you become friends with that are, 100 levels behind you or whatever, or who bounce from, profession to profession at various times, and you want to stay chatting to that group of people. It's a good idea to have those channels so that you can keep that communication up, regardless of whether one person dips or all of you spread out. Much like friend channels, again, that's something that I'd like to see, private friend channels that people can have conversations in. So yeah, like that's how we.
Which if we get those kind of like clan chatty things, it'll end up being stuff like profession chats naturally, because people will make leatherwork, and then eventually people will converge into one kind of leatherworker chat eventually.
Yeah, exactly. I think there probably will be like official leatherworking channels.
Oh yeah,
so
that'd
people
be good.
who are doing leatherworking can go in there and ask questions about leatherworking.
Yeah.
And I think that will allow for a more interactive chat. Because as you say, when you move from chunk to chunk, it's hard to keep those conversations up, because maybe some people, maybe in a 3-way or 4-way conversation, if one person leaves, they miss a load of the dialogue. So I think that kind of negates all the problems.
Could we get a clarification on what endgame stats might be in the raid? I've heard rumors that 200 is considered max requirement for all content that is released, which I remember we chatting about before. This makes the most sense to me.
So again, too early to tell you exactly how it's going to be. I've got early ideas of how it will work, but I'm not going to share those because they're just not even ready for human consumption at the moment. But I would just say,
I'd imagine that you're keeping in mind to try and keep everyone able to do it. That's like
100%.
Like together.
I still want people. I still want people to be able to experience the raid, even if they're a low level, as opposed to being a high level. But I also want, the high level people, the people who have sunk time into the game, to be, rewarded for their sacrifice to play in the game.
I
think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think it's fair.
No, the wording of sacrifice is really funny to me, because it's like you sacrificed your time, you suffered through it.
You have. You've been through the trenches, guys. Like, I'm trying to give back to you, Like, I see people who go into raids on RuneScape at level 3 and they come out with a T-bow or something, and someone's been doing the raid for 5,000 years and they don't get it. I think that's unfair. I think people who sink time into a game should be rewarded for sinking time into that game. So I would like to think of a way to be able to reward the people who have sacrificed time to the game.
Cool.
Regardless of whether you're a free-to-play or a premium player, by the way. I just want to emphasize that. I'm still an advocate for the free-to-play players. Big up Maori Viking on Twitch as well. Big New Zealand streamer. Free-to-play only. We love that. We love him. At least I do.
Is Andrew's main objective the engine or the game? Like, is the game just to see how good the engine works? A lot of people are I've heard this before. A lot of people like speculating, he's not really focused on the game. He's just trying to sell the engine.
No. Like, Andrew loves the engine. Don't get me wrong. Like, he loves FemForge, and he I think it's great. I think it's the best programming software I've ever used. So, I'm a huge advocate for it. That likewise is he, and I'm sure the other people in the office agree. But he's just as committed to the game as he is to everything else. But the engine is part of the game. Like, without the engine, the game can't operate. And there are some things that we want to be able to do in the game that need engine work. And Andrew will probably be excited to do that, just as he is excited to get new content out for the game.
Cool.
So,
yeah. Question for Sam. Rather than saying the Q&A and streams about projects the team is working on and potential time frame, what about a Trello board like Subnautic devs released? It had no time frames on it.
Yeah, so I love Trello, by the way. Shout out to you for referencing Trello. I think Trello's great.
Those Blue Turtles.
Yeah, big up Blue Turtles. I'm a big fan of Trello. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like timelines, roadmaps, that kind of stuff, like what people are working on, I don't like to share too much about what people are working on. I like to give it slightly broader terms. And somebody came up with a good suggestion in regards to how I should do it, and they called it Leak of the Week. And apparently I should do like a Leak of the Week every week and just give an update on what people are working on.
You tie that into Fen Fridays for sure.
Yeah. Well, no, do it as an official
I'll do an official thing. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, I could do that. Cool. I could make that a thing, I guess. But yeah, in regards to like actually like showcasing what people are doing as part of like a Trello board or something, I don't know how keen people would be to do that.
Yeah.
And I can't speak on like what I can and can't share. I can leak as much as I can leak. I don't want to, take the piss.
Just a random thought before I forget. Someone raised an idea for the monument reward to me. And it actually seemed pretty good.
Hit me with it.
So the idea was that, how do I phrase this? So every time someone completes the monument.
Oh, what? They stand on top of the statue and twerk?
No.
Is this it?
No.
Because I heard that one.
No. So the whole episode or whole game gets an XP boost of like 0.001%.
Right.
And every time
archaeology.
And up to a cap.
It's archaeology.
Up to a cap.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was the idea.
I don't dislike it. It's quite cool that people's achievements are
community driven.
It'd be cool if every time someone got a 500 that happened for that profession. That'd be quite cool. I like the idea. I'm willing to take it to the team.
Yeah.
I heard it here first. I'll take it to the team.
Okay.
Let's go.
Even though I've been tasked with coming up with the monument rule, I'll take
say it's yours. Just say it's yours. Just say it's yours.
Yeah. Yes, my idea. It's actually now down on a podcast.
Fuck you, Samuel.
I'll edit this out. Don't worry, it never happened. By the way, Kels, you had people who wanted to ask questions. Can you get those? Can you look for them, and we'll ask some of those questions that your community wanted to ask?
My community. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned it. So go look for those, and I'm gonna keep going through these chat ones real quick.
Most of them I've already brought up. It's just.
Oh, you brought them up. See if you can find more. Yeah. Someone did have a question for you, Kels. What animal are you hiding under the beanie?
A cat.
A cat.
Yeah. I was actually just texting my partner to see if he could bring me my cat Susie for everyone to see. But he is doing Jad in RuneScape. I don't know what that is.
It's the best boss ever created.
It's a good.
I
had
a fortune as a teenager selling those fire capes. I told Andrew that this week. I said I've sold about 800 in my life. I said I've made a fortune off of it.
That's funny.
He just laughed.
That's funny.
No, but that's why he said he couldn't bring the cat over, unless I can be excused.
He's excused. He's making excuses. He can log
excused.
out anytime. By the way, at any round.
No. Let him finish. No, because even as a fully grown adult, you're gonna be shaking. It's always nerve-wracking getting to a game.
One tick,
gonna be,
one
hit,
one prayer. One prayer.
He's going to be nervous. Just allow him some time to get that sweet nectar that drips off of your back in the form of a fire coat.
All right, I've lost chat.
I do have the things, but we've kind of already touched on all of them except for one.
Yeah, go for it.
So the one that hasn't been touched on was about Iron Man. Can we have a clear answer on whether it is coming and or a timeline, which I know is a trap for Samuel.
Yeah, let's avoid timelines. Yeah, for sure.
What would it look like? And
we've touched on this tons of times, I think.
Yeah, I've answered this so many times. Listen, I am an advocate for Iron Man mode. I think if we do not put it, and this is me personally, okay, if we do not put it into the game the second that trading comes out and allow people to stay as an Iron Man and opt out of being an Iron Man to allow them to trade, I think we are shooting ourselves in the foot massively. Like, it's going to be a huge problem. So, and that again, just me. It could be that I'm completely wrong, and I'll own up to that if I am wrong. But I think if we don't do Iron Man,
that makes sense
from the first step. Me, if I was forced to enable trading, and I was told I have to make a new character to play Iron Man, I would probably stop playing the game. Okay, and that's not just woe is me, we lose me playing the game. Like, there's probably other people that agree. There's probably other people that would say that they also leave the game. But there's also people that probably go, I don't really care, I was going to be trading anyway. But we have to adhere to the whole community. And I'm going to advocate for the community, which is, I think people should have the option. Okay, that's not just because it's my personal opinion. I think other people in the office agree that we should give players the choice.
Yep.
How that actually looks when it comes out, don't know. I'm not involved in trading. As I said, I'm moving on to something bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
So, bigger and better. So I'm leaving that with the team. But as your community manager, I will still advocate for the people. So, please, if you've got opinions, suggestions on how you would like it to be released or seen or viewed, whatever, please, tag me on Discord, reply to me on Twitter, whatever you need to do to get my attention, please do it, because I read all of them. I read every comment that has a mention of my name in it. So
that question from Jinx in chat, that was going to be the next question.
Okay, let me go through these. PM Twisty asks Samuel, you want to kiss behind the leather stole later?
Next question.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. See, I'm doing them, so you can't skip them. It's funny.
Yeah.
Samuel, in-game titles around milestones or achievements?
What?
In-game titles around milestones and achievements.
Oh, titles. I thought you said tiles.
I read it as tiles first. Yeah.
Titles, I'm not against titles. I think they're quite cool to collect. I know people like collecting things like titles and pets.
And pets.
So yeah, I'm an advocate for allowing people to collect stuff. I don't do it personally, never really cared for it. On both sides of it with titles, pets, whatever, never really bothered me. But again, man of the people. So I'll advocate for you to have titles. If you want titles, I'm here for you.
Someone mentioned Steam achievements, but that would be probably kind of tied into in-game achievements first step before we even get Steam achievements.
I mean, I don't know about Steam achievements, to be honest.
Okay.
I've never actually asked the question.
What about in-game?
In terms of in-game achievements, very cool. Again, big project. It's not on the current roadmap as we see it in-game, but could be a thing. Again, I'm happy to kind of speak to people and see what their thoughts are. Again, bring it to the team.
Yeah. Someone asked if Fen's still planning to release their engine, and will it have I don't think you'll have this part, but will it have a free option like Unity, and anything you can tell us about it?
No idea. No idea. Wait, smelly feet. Oh, I missed him.
What?
Sorry, I saw Master Madre, otherwise known as May, in game. I wanted to say he had smelly feet, but managed to somehow miss him.
Having a 500 party after this.
Oh, no, I'm not going.
You're honest.
I want some free time this weekend.
Yes.
I don't get free time tomorrow. It's Mother's Day in the UK, so I'm on call basically. But in terms of Fen Forge, I mean the plan is to release it to people. Like when that happens, don't know. Not my job. That's an Andrew question.
Yep.
Will it be free? Again, don't know.
Yeah.
Andrew question.
We'll get Andrew on some point. I should use the Q&A thing.
Would you guys be okay if I went to go try and get my cat to show the podcast?
Yeah, go get him. Go get the cat.
One second.
And your turtle. No one's asking questions. Does Andrew obviously is a strong word here, but does Andrew obviously regret releasing the game too early?
I mean, I think Andrew said that he didn't want to release the game when he did.
That's right. Yeah. He said that he was. They kind of put a deadline on it accidentally, I guess, and then it kind of just happened. And then I think it would have been prudent to wait for the OSA, but like to be done, so that not that massive setback. But he had also been like, we're gonna try and release for this quarter, and maybe stuff happened. I don't know, but it got delayed a bit. And then it's like, it would have been tough to delay it all the way to March this year. I think that would have hurt worse.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to speak on his behalf, but I mean, people have their opinions on it.
Yeah. No, it's like, remember, it's you and Andrew's game. It's your game and Andrew's game.
Apparently it is. Yeah. Apparently so I can just speak on behalf of the whole company, and it's there we go.
So the cat ran away. So I could.
That's right.
I don't know how cats work.
She ran under the bed, and I didn't feel like climbing under there and grabbing her.
What do you mean you don't know how cats work?
I don't know. Do they just like? I know people who have cats, but the cat's like never at home. It's like always out.
Oh,
do you just have a cat and then it just disappears for like 10 years and then comes home
when it's hungry? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have an indoor cat.
Tell when face reveal, 100k subs. Favorites.
No, Tell is going to face reveal when my quest comes out.
No, I did not. I did not agree with this.
And if he doesn't do a face reveal, like when I say like the quest is going to come out tomorrow, right? If Tell doesn't do it before the quest comes out, I'm going to delay it every single day until he face reveals. And that is a true fact statement now. And he's just signed himself up for it because he lured me into this trap of a podcast. And
you clicked the damn button, Samuel. I didn't ask you.
Yeah, you trapped me.
That's right.
Entrapment. So now I'm entrapping you back. So yeah, Tell face reveal 24 hours before my quest. Confirmed.
I mean,
that means you have to tell me.
Face reveal. Now you have to.
Yeah. Listen, I wanted to get through streaming through my own merit instead of my gorgeous face, so I'm using a VTuber. That's my take. Sailing when?
Well, fuck sailing. It looks so bad.
You don't like it?
It looks so bad. I'm sorry, it does. Like it's a meme that went a bit too far. You know, listen, in episode 7 or 8, you might see the skill maybe. Like that's the level that we're talking here.
That's funny.
No sailing.
What do you think of sailing in OSRS?
What do I think of it?
Yeah. Have you tried it?
It's awful.
Yeah, you just don't like it at all.
No,
well, I guess part of it is literally part of the skill is literally merchant, so I guess like it's not a super big surprise.
Yeah.
Can you please make posts and polls look more distinct?
Can I
Samuel,
make posts and polls look
from
more
woodcutter.
distinct?
Sorry, from carpenter.
Oh, I thought you meant like posts and polls on like social media.
Maybe they meant that. Maybe they meant that.
Yeah, maybe they did.
I mean,
oh no, it's polls as in POLES. No, it's carpenter, 100%.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, it's not really my job to do the models.
It's your game.
But... yeah, true. Oh, yeah, it's my game. I guess I'll just do it. Yeah.
I said it during Fen Friday. The Maybe, which is the new Fen Research newsletter.
Oh, the Maybe.
Right. The Maybe.
no, because somebody said that that's also the name of a bee, or so, like a bee boss called Maybe.
There's a couple. Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, we already know that it's called Leak of the Week.
Is that a leak? Is it? Did you just leak of the week?
No, because somebody suggested it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
The leak. The leak.
It doesn't mean you have to take it on board.
No, I don't have to take it on board. I could be like, yeah, I'm not going to do anything anymore. Bye.
There's a couple more suggestions.
Like that old woman that gets off the bus and goes, "Bye, driver. Bye, bye."
Yeah,
that's me.
I will say that like every time Samuel does a Q&A, especially on Fen Fridays and stuff like that, I think if you have suggestions, I think they're best written down. Because like a lot of these, like Samuel can't do much about. Can Fen change it when the game remembers what item I'm trying to make instead of forcing me to click on it for crafting?
Quality of life, maybe.
Add
maybe. We plan on coming back to quality of life at some point.
Yeah. Once you get your workflow, and we got to do content. We want to focus on content.
Like,
for sure.
We need to focus on content.
Yeah. Will there be more professions in upcoming episodes? Yes. I can tell you that one.
Yeah. No, actually, no. We're just going to release empty episodes. They're not going to have any professions.
Make the professions microtransaction based.
That sounds like a great idea.
$5 per profession. Only buy the ones that you like.
Yeah, but it's direct to me. It's not to Fen Research, it's to me.
Blue Turtles asks, I want to be a farmer in the game. Can we make this happen? My speculation is there's an episode with farming because there's a picture of it in one of the portraits in the game.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Dash's dreams, Samuel.
Sorry. Sorry. It's like people are like, oh, bring the Enchantress back. Like, give her a real reason to exist. It's like, well, I could create a quest where she becomes evil and overthrows the world, and then you have to kill her as like a really big mega boss on there. Like, I could do that. Or in the next quest that I write, I could just kill her.
Do it.
So yeah, like I've got creative freedoms. I can take something and turn it into a real fun landscape for people. But no, in regards to farming, I mean, farming's cool, I guess. I don't know if we'll see it in Bright Shores. We might do, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I again, this leads into the whole. If you set expectations and communicate too much, people get like antsy about it. As we've seen. What cars do you guys drive? I drive a Hyundai 2011. Nothing special. Somebody got a fucking Benz. Kels?
Yeah, go on, Kels.
2018 Chevy Trax LT, all-wheel drive.
Okay. I can write asshole now. I drive a black BMW X3.
Of course you drive a BMW.
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I drive it. And of course it's diesel as well.
It's diesel?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I drive a big black SUV.
Also, my car currently has like mountains of laundry in it right now.
I also have a motorbike too.
Oh yeah.
I have a Honda CBR 125. It's a very nice bike.
Cool. I'm gonna compliment you, pretending that I know what that is.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice little bike. It looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a Harley kind of girl.
Yeah, I mean, Harley don't typically make like small bikes, and the way that UK licenses work for motorbikes, like,
UK laws.
Can't get one. Yeah, I know, right? UK laws really good. It makes a load of sense. So get this, right? So I had to pay £160 to a very lovely woman and do a test on a little 125cc bike. So nothing too powerful. Can do about 70 miles an hour, right? And I have to ride with learner plates on. But I've been driving for 15 years at this point.
That sounds like Australia as well.
So it's really backwards. But what I could have done instead is get a 3-wheeled motorbike up to 300cc and not have learner plates.
And then just drive it like a car?
Where the fuck is the sense in that?
That's funny.
I can buy a 3-wheeled motorbike at more than double the cc and not have learner plates because I have a driving license. But apparently I need to take a test, put learner plates on, and drive a slower vehicle.
Yeah, but you'd be running a 3-wheel bike.
There is no logic to the UK law. It is so backwards.
You got opinions about that. Every time I talk to you about the UK, it's always heated. And this is like live privately.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. You think Americans hate the UK? Whew, you should just
listen to me for an hour talk about the UK and you'll realize just how much I really hate the UK. My wife won't leave.
Your wife? I think
she won't. I tried to get her to leave ages ago. She won't leave.
That's all the big ones. I see will Andrew revert back to standard rarity color? No. I don't think we're done with that.
There is no.
We spoke about this internally. There is no standard rarity color.
Oh yeah,
ever.
There never has been.
No standard rarity color.
You mean World of Warcraft isn't standard?
No, your idea of a standard rarity color is your idea because you played other games that had that rarity color. If you played another game, it would have had a different rarity color. There is no standard rarity color. It does not exist. Anyone who believes it exists, no. Doesn't exist. End of conversation.
There's this question. What items will be player tradable? For example, only player made items, only harvested items, only weapons, armor. Will vendor items be tradable?
I'm not working on trading, so I don't know. I don't know. And I haven't asked the questions because me personally, I'm not going to be trading. So I haven't been like, oh, what's tradable? So but
does it affect me?
It doesn't affect me, so I don't care. No, I can find out but like as soon as I can, and whether I can let people know about it. I might not. Andrew will probably lean towards don't tell people how it's going to work because then people will try and manipulate it and try and gain like a huge advantage by doing certain things, and we don't want to do that. So just be prepared that you might not be told how it's going to work.
Fair enough.
Someone wants to know what your favorite single player game is and if it influenced your quest writing or the game design.
My favorite single player game. Okay, is it a cop-out if I say my favorite single player game, but it's multiplayer, but I played single player?
You gonna say V-Rising again?
I'm gonna say V-Rising.
Dude, I know this guy more than he knows himself.
Yeah, V-Rising is such a good game, man. If you don't own it, go and buy it. Support the developers. I love the developers.
That's funny.
Yeah. Stunlock are so good at what they did with V-Rising. It's insane. And by the way, 28th of April, they're coming out with patch 1.1. So prepare yourself for that because it's going to be great content. We love it. Invaders of Oakvale. Yeah, big up. Free promotion for them all the time. I love those guys. But no, genuinely, their boss fights are really, really good. I've always kind of looked at that quality of a boss fight for something. I might take inspiration from some of their fights, maybe. But no, in terms of like an authentic single player game, what's my favorite single player game? Medieval.
Oh, I used to love that game too.
Yeah, so Daniel Fortescue, great game. So yeah, big fan of that. Also, Croc, Legend of Gobos, and Abe's Odyssey. All of those games, iconic. Yeah, we did. Yeah, other than I didn't live in a place where the Newcastle Big Boy was a threat.
Yeah, well, I didn't live in a place where the government was more of a threat than our spiders.
On the Barbie or whatever you do.
We don't call them shrimps. All right.
I have hot winters because that's weird.
At least we have hot summers. Does it even get hot over there?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Nah, not really.
All right, let's do 2 more. I'll do 2 more.
Okay.
Serious question. Is the game friendly towards colorblind people? I noticed there's no option to change the colors for colorblind. Is it necessary? Have you thought about it? I've never heard of anyone complaining or
I have. There isn't like a colorblind setting as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Like within the game. I would love to do that. I want to be as inclusive as I possibly can to everybody. So yeah, if that's the first time that I've personally heard about the colorblind mode, I will bring that to the team. And if it's something that we can do internally confidently, then I'll advocate for that.
Someone said that some people have trouble with investigations. I have heard of someone having trouble with investigations. But I will say that the descriptions of the NPCs, if you click on them and you click info, it does tell you like they have a splotch and what color it is. So that should circumvent it. But I didn't know about that info thing and it wasn't really clear to me. So maybe a tutorial will help with that.
Sure. Sounds good.
There was someone that we read their question earlier, and I think they used the wrong word earlier. They rephrased it. Will there be more factions in future episodes? Not professions, factions.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one too. Yep.
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it personally. I don't see it. I've been strongly against like adding factions anyway because I think that it kind of messes with the game in a lot of ways. I know that people want like, I think there's better ways to interact with Infernae and Necro made damage and effects that isn't just give them a faction, in my opinion.
Yeah. I have my opinions on the factions. I'm going to keep those to myself. But yeah, I mean, most people could probably tell that I'm keeping it to myself for a certain reason. I don't want to get in trouble.
How much RuneScape did you play? Old school?
I played a good chunk.
Yeah.
I played a good chunk of it. So, grew up playing the game. So, yeah. Next question.
Oh, good. All right. I think Marv is fantastic. What did Marv say? Will the colorblind setting set the rarity back to standard colors? the default, Samuel, the default. Come on. Commons are white. Uncommons are green.
I'm not doing this.
Not doing it? Okay. Okay. I hate to do this, but we will. I saw them talking about this a lot in chat today, so we'll do 2 more. Last two. Bulaga and Glorp. So Bulaga, will Dens be looked at again? Since the combat rework made people train combat before blah blah blah, but before the rework, overlevel the current detective levels and making them kind of obsolete. Now, I'll let you go.
No,
not looked at again.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they're over
it. I think me personally, I didn't look at it. Right, I did some QA testing when people were sending in like bug reports and stuff, and then it was handed off. It was dealt with, and it's out of my control.
And I will highlight this. One thing that you have said is that Dens were never meant to do combat and detective both as effectively as each other. It was supposed to be detective with a little bit of combat buff.
Yeah. I think people who did it when it was as powerful as it was just got lucky. and that's the nature of an early access game.
Yeah.
That doesn't have, a mass amount of players playing at the same time, is that, some things are going to be more powerful than others, like initially.
Abuse early, abuse often.
And we're not going to punish people because they decided to do it early. Like, yeah, you got in early, great. And the people that are now doing it that didn't do it are kind of kicking themselves. And I do feel the kind of like upset nature that gives those players. But there's nothing that I can personally do about it.
Please just don't break Leatherworker. Please just leave it. Figure out another way.
Yeah.
I'm only 50 Leatherworker. Don't do this to me, please. I'm not there yet. And then Glorp wanted to know, can we get one-click combat? As they want auto-drink combat potions upon entering. I don't know about that, but one-click combat would be really good too.
Yeah, I've spoken a little bit more about combat because, like, I think most people would be able to see if they've been keeping an eye. I haven't trained my combat since the combat rework came out.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that I'm over the moon with how it currently is. It still, for me, isn't an exciting profession. And, I think there's things that need to change about it for me personally to train it out of my own free will. I don't think there's many people that would disagree that it feels slightly unfinished, and I think it could be improved on. So, yeah, it's something that I'd like to kind of take to the team to kind of look at in a bit more detail. I'm an advocate for making things improved as opposed to worse. So
but also your raid was your original raid idea, and possibly your next one might involve a lot of professions other than combat too, which is cool. So we'll see how that goes.
That's the original plan. Might not be the final plan, but it was a plan.
Yeah,
which hopefully people would like the idea of.
Do you do combat, Kels?
What about combat?
Do you like it as it is?
It's all right. It kind of seems slow.
Yeah. Do you do much of it?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, yeah.
I think I'm in the mood for it. Yeah, the number doesn't go up fast enough for me, so
it's pretty fast skill, girls. I don't know what you're talking about. I personally don't do a lot of it as well. I'm more interested once we do trees and stuff. I do a lot of it in dens exclusively when I'm not able to pay attention to the game as much. But that's a wrap. I'm not going to ask any. I think that was good. That was very good. I think we had some good discussions. I think that Samuel doesn't quite hate me as much as I thought he would.
No.
Yeah, we were pretty nice to him.
Yeah. I think I should have been meaner. I'm gonna get comments saying I wasn't mean enough. Samuel,
this was the easiest podcast for me
next
ever.
Week.
Well, it's not going to be next week because Andrew's away. Maybe the week after. I don't know. Maybe at this point I'm just going to scrap it. Maybe I'll just never come out. Yeah, I'll just scrap it and just never come out.
Yeah. So ultimately,
talk your emotions for months.
Content soon. Easter announcement definitely next week.
Easter announcement will 1 billion% be before Wednesday. That's all I'm going to say.
Cool. Easter announcement will be great.
I'm not going to... Right. So, I've kind of shot myself in the foot there a bit because I've said 1,000% before Wednesday. I'm not stupid enough to announce something that's genuine, not on April Fool's, which is the Tuesday. So I'm basically telling you you're going to get the announcement on Monday.
Tuesday. You should have said on Tuesday. Are you doing anything for April Fool? I guess I should. Don't even tell me. Don't even tell us.
I mean, I wanted to change the login screen to say Samuel Hartwell's bright shores for the day.
No,
I thought that would be quite funny.
Don't you dare.
But I don't think Andrew's on board. Also, he's away, so maybe I'll be able to get away with it. Maybe I'll ask Greg to do a little change, and we'll ask James to ship it for the day. That'd be quite funny. I'd just like to see Andrew's face when people screenshot it. But yeah, no. Genuinely, we haven't thought about anything for April Fool. I don't think we're going to do anything. I think it would also be stupid of us. Like, I get that people are upset. No, I get people are upset because there hasn't been content. So for me or us or like anyone to spend time like pulling a prank on it just feels like a proper slap in the face.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
yeah, like if we're gonna do anything, like it'll be a little troll that doesn't affect anything, doesn't take any development time, anything like that. Like we in reality, we're probably not gonna do anything at all.
Yeah,
So,
just mess with the streamers again.
Yeah, I probably will just mess with the streamers.
Just go on their stream and like send them a mute, like a 1 minute mute or something like that, and so they get a pop up.
Yeah. I might just go and troll some people or something. A bit of harmless fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there won't be any like, oh, we're releasing this bit of content or anything like that.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Just switch the KP to silver button with the KP to XP button. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I was tempted to change all of the professional icons to the same icon, which I thought would be, and just reorder them entirely, just shuffle them all around and swap Hopeport with Chronopolis.
They should keep you away from the code base. They really should keep you away from the code base.
Yeah, I know, but they keep letting me near it. They keep giving me more power within the code. And Andrew's now going to teach me technical, which means I'm going to get even more powerful with the code.
Yeah. All right. So announcement next week.
Announcement Monday. Announcement Monday.
Well,
Easter announcement Monday.
You did say that. You did say the hiring would start Monday. I'm giving you a grace. Are you sure you want to say that?
No. No. When did I say the hiring would start Monday?
You were going to say that the hiring was going to come out Tuesday, and it came out Friday last minute.
What?
The hiring announcement, the actual offers.
Oh, I'm not involved in the actual offers, like sending letters out and stuff like that.
No. The posting, the post. You're like, oh, we think it'll come out Tuesday. And then it was like Friday or something. I'm not. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying. Like, are you sure you want to dig your grave into the Monday? You're good.
No. So Monday for Easter announcement.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Right. So you will hear about Easter on Monday. Okay. It might be the end of the day, but it will be on Monday because I'm not going to ship something on April Fools. That's stupid, and it will definitely be before Wednesday.
Yeah. Are you going to give us a hint?
A hint to what?
To what Easter is? What the reward is?
To what the reward is?
Yeah. People want to know.
It's an Easter reward. I mean, all of you saw my beautiful concept.
I wonder if that went in the game.
Come on. Like, like I modeled it as well.
Oh my!
You know.
No, you didn't.
I don't think anyone would be upset if that was the reward, right?
Maybe not. Let's not fuck with the players. They're already so tired.
Yeah. Maybe I will.
Tired, boss.
We're tired, boss. Please.
It's not very nice.
Okay, so announcement, and then the quest has to be at least when Andrew gets back. But then
the quest will not be next week. The quest will not be next week.
Yeah.
But,
and then April should be a better month, depending on how the hiring process is.
Yeah, I don't know when people will be starting. I don't know how many people are going to accept offers or whatever. Like, but we had a really good turnout, and I guess we'll just wait to see who joins and whether those people want to be publicly known. Or even their name be mentioned in certain things.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave that up to them. Maybe they'll want to say hello to people in some form of capacity, or maybe they'll just like me to kind of say like, this person has joined the team as a blah blah blah. So everyone say hello kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to them. But yeah, April into May is going to look very good in terms of like the next stages for Fen. So
yeah. I think that as long as we can see the improvement, that now that the delays aren't there, we just haven't felt it yet. The delays are done, but we just haven't felt.
Delays are done, right? There's no more delay. We're not going to randomly move office again, okay? We're not randomly just going to shrink the team again or anything like that, right? We're getting people in, we're training them up, we're getting content out. So bear with us.
Yeah.
Just
that's
trust,
the wrap up.
Trust me, Brev. right? That's what we say.
Brev. That's what you say in the UK. Trust me, Brev.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust me, Brev.
All right. Let's
Also, you guys got to meet my cat. Her name is
Yes.
Susie. Also
Susie.
Susan.
Susie
Big
or
up
Susan.
Susie.
Yeah.
With an S or a Z.
She wasn't really a fan of being on camera, but she stuck around for a bit.
I'd get my cat, but it won't. She doesn't. Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Face reveal. Cat reveal.
Here you go. Just a couple of memes. Ones that weren't toxic. This is pretty funny.
Yeah, I like that one.
See, it's a double joke because the swear jar can't be filled because you can't swear. The chat filter catches it.
I thought you just meant me personally.
No, the cat filter. The chat filter catches the swears.
Fuck the swear jar.
Fuck the swear jar.
I'll swear for you.
Thanks.
God,
Yeah,
Cabbage
like
Man with another banger. This is
yeah. Rest in peace, Cabbage Man.
Yeah, no, he's got a new trailer now. He's got Only Hands.
He's got like One Punch Man or Only Hands. Yeah. Which,
did you do any voice acting for that, or did he ask you?
No, but no, you for some reason said some line about me having a Lamborghini or something.
No, because
I didn't get it, and I was really paranoid. As like, what am I missing something here?
No,
and
it's
he's like, no, it's literally nothing more than just mentioning you by name. Like,
it's just like because you're always in my DMs giving me leaks and all the information, and we're making big money off each other. Like that's the joke, right? When
have we shipped like a crypto coin or something? Is that the inside joke?
No. Just in terms of like, I don't know, making YouTube bucks or something, or Twitch bucks, because big money there.
Yeah. Huge money. Yeah.
And that's it. That's all that.
Give me more memes, Tell.
No, that's all we got. Well, we need people to make them. Go make them.
Yeah.
Make them and send them to me or in my Discord, and I'll pull them up. But until then, all we get is more shit posts from Cabbage Man.
We love it.
Right. Chat, you know what to do. Go make some memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, send them over. More positivity that we can find. The last bit of positive energy that you guys have for the game. The last little bit. Which will be dead as of April. You got until April 31st, by the way.
Thanks.
30th. No.
I was going to say there isn't April 31st.
No, you said April 31st. I'm holding you to it. And I'm still holding you to face reveal 24 hours before my quest.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, you know, then the community's going to be very angry at you.
I need to actually wash my hair, unlike you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you very much, Samuel, for coming on. And Kels.
This was the easiest podcast of my life.
You didn't really do that much.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, no.
We like Kels having her here.
Yeah, no, she came with a very valid point. It doesn't matter what I do.
You're fucked.
I'll never win.
I'm
fucked. I will never win.
I'm demonetized.
I completely agree.
Thank you very much for spending the time to come on. I know, like you're not paid for this. You're not getting time in lieu. This is just.
I did the last time, so I might ask for it time in lieu. Actually.
No, do more dev work. Get more content out. No more holidays. You're not allowed holidays anymore.
I'm not allowed holiday.
No.
It's okay because I'm gonna make people really mad here. I'm planning a holiday, and I actually want to go away. Like this is the second or third week in April, so I might just take a picture from the beach and be like, "I'm on holiday."
Found my shores.
Yeah, I found my bright shores.
Thank you.
But yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for the question.
Yeah,
thank
you.
Community.
Yeah. Thank you for attending. thanks everyone for watching and your support for the stream to keep it ad-free and all that such. Kels is a massive supporter of the podcast. I really appreciate that as well, Kels. If I want to tell you right here, while we can, go sub and follow Kels. Don't follow Samuel. He's a bit of a dick, but we love him anyway.
What's this?
No, go see Samuel on Fridays.
Everyone unsub.
Go see Samuel on Fridays.
Unsub.
And have a great rest of your weekend, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.